Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
Welcome to Boss Talks. And I'm here with the amazing Christine Drummond, who is an absolute master of what we're talking about today. But before I get to that, there is a fee for listening to this call, for listening to this podcast. And by now, if you've been listening for a while, you know what that is. If you haven't heard us before, you haven't heard us share what we know, share what we've learned, then you're in for a treat. Although you do have to pay the fee. When you find this valuable, leave us a review and share this with someone that needs to hear it, because the reason why we do this, we take time out of our day, we love doing this, we're both busy people, and we do this for free, almost. We just need you to share that to get the word out, because we need more conscious people in the world. We need people with more money in the world. We need people that are out of that scarcity mindset and into abundance. And the only way we can do that, as an amazing guy that I love following, Joe Dispenza, says, is by the free sharing of information between human beings. That's how we're going to rise. That's how we're going to cure disease. That's how things are going to get better, because you know what? There's a fairly big mess out in the world. And it's from scarcity. It's from people holding their foot on your forehead when you're just trying to get up. You know what I mean? And we need to change that. And this is how you do it. And you can just start with something small by sharing this podcast. So what are we talking about today? We're talking about ultimate morning routines. Now, listen, Christine is for sure an absolute boss at this subject. Like, she's got strategies that are going to come out her ears, and I'm going to be taking notes on this one, I'm sure. Like, I've got some opinions on it. I've got some strategies that I've used, I've been through, and I've done lots of different morning routines. I've spent a long period of my life not using a morning routine and just letting the day take me where it goes. And look, just like anything, there's not one size fits all. You know, I've been lucky enough to be able to learn from Tony Robbins. I've actually been able to crew for him and crew quite closely for him. And it's not really directly from Tony Robbins. It's the people that Tony Robbins has taught that have taught me some awesome things about morning routines, you know, priming, getting up and getting the blood flowing with some sort of exercise. You know, I remember like standing there in just concrete, wearing 14 layers of clothes, this big suit, and having to do push-ups before I went out. Like, it was crazy. So like, this is on complete lack of sleep, by the way. When you're working for Tony, you get lack of sleep. You get 1 or 2 hours because it's game time. There's 10,000 people relying on you, and you got to be able to get up on lack of sleep. And a morning routine was the only way that we could get into state. State's very important to be able to handle the day. Now, look, Christine, that's just one story. What have you got for us? I know you got some great information. Share away.
Oh, buddy, I'm still back on the foot on your forehead. All I can see is all these people's footprints on everybody's foreheads.
It is like you don't have to look that far to see that. Like, society doesn't want you to win. The media doesn't want you to win. Like, schools don't always want you to win. I'm not saying specifically the teachers, because they're obviously great people. They want to cultivate the young people, but the system, it's an old system. It hasn't changed enough. It's broken compared to where we've sort of outgrown a lot of things, and the old ways aren't working anymore. And listen, there's people there that want to stay at the top, and they want to keep their foot on your head. They want to have the power, and we've just got to like help people up, reach down. Like, what is where we went to Engage Melbourne, and we learned from Scott DeMullen. He said that you rise further if you lift people as you go. And that's what this podcast is to me. That's why I think we'll make 1,000 episodes, because I'm that keen to keep going. And yeah, I'm always going to want to share what I learned so people can actually like have a choice, because they do have a choice. So yeah, rant
I,
over
I
at the
love
start
that.
of
I
the
love
call.
that. I know. I love it. Great little rant. And I love that metaphor. I haven't heard it put like that before, but you're totally right. That's what it feels like sometimes. You know, when you just feel like you're getting ahead a little bit, you feel like you're getting squashed, and it does feel like someone's treading on your bloody forehead. So I want to share a quote with the listeners, and it's by a lady called Amy Carmichael. And she said, "We will have eternity to celebrate the victories, but only a few short hours before sunset to win them." And that really encompasses what we're going to be talking about today, which is, you know, your morning routine, finding that ultimate morning routine to get into what Joel just said, which was state. And you can change your state in a click of a finger that quickly. I've seen it happen. I've actually seen Tony Robbins, you know, work with someone who was severely depressed. Like, I'm talking in the fetal position in a room full of 8,000 people, bawling her eyes out. And then in a click of a finger, she was in hysterical laughter and to a point of bliss. So it can happen. We can manage our state that quickly, but there are certain things that we've got to do in order to be in that state. And we get to pick our state all the time, you know. So I'm going to talk about some morning routines that I've trialed in the past. And I've read books like The Miracle Morning. I've read books like The 5 a.m. Club. I'm a big Robin Sharma fan. And they're all amazing and offer so much value in regards to this subject. You have to find what works for you. And guess what? It's going to change. You're going to have to tweak it along the way. It's not going to be perfect all the time. However, you do need to be consistent with a few key aspects that we'll talk about in a moment. And there's so much research about this, guys, about how having a consistent morning routine can set you up for success and help you win the day. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I'm going to share my morning routine. And I used to get up at 5 a.m. and, you know, it worked for a while and it was amazing. And I think it's fantastic for those that can do it. However, now what I do is I wake up basically when my body clock wakes me up. And then I'm pretty much straight out the door. So it depends, you know, I'm out on a run. So I run Monday to Friday. If I miss a day during the week, I have to make up for it on the weekends. And in the morning, that morning run with no technology, just me in the fresh air, nature, hitting the pavement, allows me to be in a really creative and inspired state. I get so many amazing ideas flood to me. And that's why I've decided to leave my phone at home, because I used to listen to podcasts and things like that. But it's a really good thinking opportunity where I'm on my own with my own thoughts. And then all these amazing ideas come to me. I go home and I write them down and I just do this massive big brain dump. And a lot of those ideas I've been able to implement and have led to, you know, to my success. So after I go for a run, it's usually then, you know, stretching, meditation. I hit the shower. I have a warm shower first, but then before I jump out, I turn it all to cold, which is basically for 30 seconds to a minute, just to wake up the nervous system. And it's better than having a cup of coffee. Let me tell you, it wakes your system up. And while I'm in the shower, I'm constantly amping myself up. I'm telling myself, you know, amazing positive things. Even though I may not be that yet, or I may not have achieved that yet, I act as if it's already happened or I'm already that person. And I think that's really key as well. But you have to have clarity about who it is you actually want to become, or the qualities or the traits that you need to embody to go to that next level. So I'm aware of those things. So I already tell myself those things. So, and that's kind of just dead time in the shower. So that's a great opportunity to do it. And then it's basically out of the shower. And then I might get a few emails and a little bit of Facebook, you know, stuff done. But then it's like the phone goes away and I'm fully present with my kids. I'm getting school lunches. I'm getting them ready for school, things like that. I forgot to leave out a very important aspect as well. I also read my mission statement. Not every day, but most days I'll read my mission statement. And my mission statement just brings my intention and my focus back to where I'm going. and to the legacy I'm working on, to the impact I'm making. And, you know, Joel features in my mission statement because we're business partners. So, you know, it just keeps it in front of me on a daily basis, why I'm getting out of bed every day, you know, and that's it. It gets that fire burning bright in my belly. Sometimes I'll put on tunes as well, and I'll have a bit of a dance just to get into that feminine flow, that feminine essence. Joel and I were talking off air before we jumped on here, and this happened to me last year. I was so determined on chasing the goal that I transitioned out of my feminine flow, and I was predominantly living in my masculine flow. Now, my husband did not enjoy that time. My kids did not enjoy that time because when you're in that flow, in that state, you're a different person. You've got a different energy, and that energy filters out to the rest of the family. And it's not a nice energy. It serves us for when we need it, but it's very exhausting when you stay in there. So I have to work on this on a daily basis, is getting back into that feminine. I got bloody hair extensions, for crying out loud, to get me back into my feminine flow. You know, I wear skirts and dresses more often to remind myself, get back into your feminine flow, get back into the essence. And I really feel like that's where we are most powerful women. So if you are a female listener, please take note of that. You can still be driven and ambitious, but when you put that in with the femininity, that's when you're really in your power and you can become unstoppable, let me tell you. So I've covered a lot here, Joel, but I just want to finish on, you know, really taking the time out to nourish yourself, fill your cup first, practice those self-love practices, you know, do things that bring you joy, put you in that, you know, that blissful state. And then by the time I'm, you know, helping my kids in the morning, I'm in this beautiful state where I can be more present, where they feel more connected with me, where they feel heard. It's not chaos in our house in the morning. I was talking to a friend yesterday and I said, oh yeah, my kids are sleeping until about 8:15 this morning. And, you know, I've got to get Summer to school by, you know, 8:45. We're not rushed. It just flows really well. And we can do that. I don't want the chaos and the anxiety that goes with, oh my God, I got to get all this done before school. So for me, that routine works really well. But I know when my son goes to school, we'll have to change it again, you know. So we all go through different rites of passage. We all go through different times when kids are different ages, or maybe you don't have kids right now, and then down the track you will have kids and your morning routine will get thrown out again. It has to be flexible enough that you're able to change it around a little bit. And mine is not set in stone based on time, but it is a checklist every morning. And I'm ticking that checklist off of those things that I need to do for me to feel like me, for me to work in my potential and work towards my dreams and my goals every day. So that was a long one, wasn't it, Joel?
That was all right. It was good. Like I was like laughing it all up. And I look, one of the things I admire about you the most is like your awareness, like your self-awareness. You hear people like Gary Vee say that self-awareness is key, and it just so is. The people that leave conferences like Tony Robbins and our events that you know, leave and actually go on and get success, they're the ones that are the most self-aware. So I think there's a direct correlation between speed to success with how self-aware you are. And the people that, and what I mean by that is like they're self-aware enough to go, hey, this isn't working. What part can I, like, what can I learn and what new strategy can I use to implement to get to how I want to feel, to get the goals that I want to have? And so many people just don't do that. They either, like, I don't know if anyone's got a Simpsons reference here, but when Homer Simpson flexed up in front of the mirror and he saw himself really muscly, but he's not really. I think some people think like that. And then I think there's also the other side where people think they're far worse than they actually are. And neither one of those are self-aware. So it's like, it's amazing. But like, I can't help myself. I've got to like digress a little bit for this, because something that you spoke about just then was going into your masculine to chase goals. And another thing that, like, I've been coaching for a long time, and like one of the things that has come up even in my personal life, and also with people that I've coached, because I used to be on the road a lot as well. Like you and Tom's fly in, fly out. He spends a lot of time on the road or like off working, and you're in home. And like a lot of mums, like when that happens, have to play the dad role as well. Like they get into that masculine. And it's funny that like I noticed that I'd come back after 6 days on the road, and Vicky would be in dad mode, and it's like completely like she looks great, but there's just this energy that just wasn't attractive, and there was like we're out of polarity, and like I don't think many people are aware of that. That's what it is. You're out of polarity, and you know when the woman has to, or the wife has to have the masculine hat on to get the kids to school on time and get the house clean, and they're in boss mode. You know, dad coming home and he feels that energy, but then, you know, you got to take some time. That so like you know, a lot of fly in, fly out mums. You've worked in this space a lot as well. Like maybe elaborate just quickly on that so we can get back on the topic. But yeah, like it's amazing, right?
It is amazing, and you're so right with that. That we do, like when the male leaves the home, and us fly in, fly out mums, we have to take on both roles, and this is for solo parents as well. If you're a solo parent, hats off to you. Like seriously, whether you're the dad or the mum that has the kids full time on your own, it's a tough gig, especially if you don't have the resources, the support around you to be able to switch off every now and then. So, you know, just I hope you're feeling me on this. We really like massive gratitude to you for doing the job that you're doing. One of my male friends though, Joel, said to me, because when I was in this masculine state, it's the best advice I've ever received, because I just was not attractive to Tom at all. He was not finding that masculine energy. I wasn't finding it attractive. I actually fell out of love with myself as well. And, but a friend of mine, and hey, Paulie, thank you for that advice. But he said to me, Joel, Drummo, you've got to lose your dick. You know, it's not attractive. It's not helping anyone. And, you know, and I was like, you're totally right. I do. Like, I've got to get rid of this masculine, not get rid of it, but reduce this masculine energy. But for those women that do find that they're playing the mum and the dad and find themselves in that masculine energy a lot, you can still do both roles, but do it in a more graceful way. You can do it in a way that is softer, but is way more powerful than, you know, being in control, being that control freak and that military mum that has it all perfect, and, you know, we've got to be here by this amount of time. Like there's a better way to do it, and that is by having these morning rituals, things that fill you up. And I left one of the morning rituals out, Joel, and that was to fuel my brain. Every morning I'm doing some sort of self-development, whether it's listening to a podcast, reading a growth book. It could be based on business, it could be based on mindset, personal growth, whatever. But I get so many thoughts and ideas, and it changes my perspective on things as well. So there's a few little tips that I've had that get me into that feminine state, and dance is one of them. You know, dance is such a powerful thing, you know, just by putting on one of your favorite playlists and just moving the body for, you know, 3 to 5 minutes is enough to get you back in that feminine energy. You know, doing your hair, putting some makeup on if you want to, or, you know, as I said, dressing in more feminine clothes, getting out of the shorts. I can't remember the last time I've worn shorts, where it was last year I was wearing them every day. That's pretty much all I was in, was shorts every day, and, you know, or exercise gear. And when I'm in my exercise gear, it's very hard to feel feminine. So what did I do? I went and bought lots of feminine looking, bright colored exercise clothes. So there's little things like that that you can do to make you feel more girly. And just even hanging around the girls, having some girly catch-ups. You know, every Friday we have a girly catch-up, and I'm constantly asking the girlfriends to come to my place, or I go to their place for catch-ups through the week as well. And I think that definitely helps too. But I'm getting off track a little bit, but I want to add in something here that, you know, Robin Sharma, in his book, The 5 a.m. Club, he talks about, you know, trying to tap into, I guess, the 4 interior empires, as he calls them. And the first one is mindset, which is your psychology. The second one is heart set, which is your emotionality. The third one is health set, which is your physicality. And then the fourth one is soul set, which is your spirituality. So when I was living on the Gold Coast, between 5 a.m. and 6 a.m., you tap into all four of these things. And I do it here as well where I'm living, but on the Gold Coast, it was a lot easier because I'd go to the beach every morning, and that was where I did my soul set, my spirituality. But the mindset is basically, positivity, like flooding your mind with positivity, reading something that is growing your mind, growing your thoughts, just even doing the what we call flip it. Like if a negative thought comes in, flip it to a positive. How can you put a different spin on it? The heart set is the emotional, like opening your heart. Joel and I were talking about this before we jumped on air, about how our heart has parts of the brain in it. Joel can elaborate on this, but we've got to open our hearts. We've got to stop being so closed-minded. So stop closing our heart off to things and being so protective of ourselves through fear of being let down or unloved and things like that. When you open your heart, you really allow yourself to feel, and other people can feel that. They feel more heard and more welcome and things like that. So we need to really work on that heart set, that emotional intelligence. The third one is the health set, the physicality, which is exercise, getting out in nature and really breathing in that fresh air. And then the soul set, the spirituality is like through your meditations and things like that, or maybe it's prayer for you. But this is easy. It's so easy to touch on all those four interior empires in the first hour of your day. And in his book, he goes into why it's so important to do it first thing in the morning, because that's when we're most creative. Between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m. is when the human being is most creative, when we first wake out of that beautiful rested sleep. And that's the best time to really work on yourself. So I just wanted to throw that in there as well, Joel, because that's been such a huge thing for me is tapping into those four areas and finding things that bring joy to me. And I think a lot of people miss out on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, getting up in the morning after a deep sleep, your pineal gland has just allowed you to have, I think it's melatonin. I think that's the right pronunciation of it, in your body, which is, it's like that organ is called by spiritual leaders and scientists now as the seat of the soul. And that's the organ that allows you to have lucid dreams. So you're coming from a sleep state into a waking state. You're going to be the most creative, as you said. And that's, that if you've tapped into that and you're meditating and you're eating a healthy diet, like a really healthy diet. And this is like, we seem to swing back to diet a lot, has such a huge impact on performance. It's going to be able to secrete more of that into your body, and you're going to be more creative, and you're going to have sweeter dreams and all those sorts of things. And, cool things happen like that. So absolutely. The heart has been found. This is not like spiritual stuff. It's not any of that. Like, although it has come back from like spiritual people have known this for a long time, that the heart has a power to it. And it's been proven for nearly 2 decades now that the heart has brain cells in the heart. There's a section in the heart that has those cells, and it can remember, it can feel, and that's where intuition comes from. That's why people say follow your heart. It's not just a play on words. It's something that comes from before the confusion of like things having to obviously make sense. Well, it does now because they've seen it. So if you can tap into that, then great. And I 100% believe that your morning rituals are going to have a lot to do with that. So first things first, for me, don't look at your bloody phone. When you wake up, if you do that, you are automatically, and like I emphasize automatically, going into the past. You are living, because it's a habit. It's a habit that's developed over time. It's automatic. So you've learned it from the past. So you're just reliving the past again. Not only that, you aren't giving yourself a chance to create the day the way you want it to be. Not giving yourself any time to center yourself, like all these amazing things Christine said before that I won't go over again. You're already deleting your ability to do that because you've just invited the entire world into this sacred little time you got for just you. So like put your phone in another room. You know what? Grandma and grandpa didn't have a phone on their desk, on the side of their desk, you know? They found other things to do in the bedroom other than scroll on their phone, right? So it's probably more fun than on the phone as well. So like leave the phone in another room. I don't care. Leave it in where you clean your teeth. At least have it in another room so you can't just accidentally automatically pick your phone up, because you know you can do that. So whatever you do, give yourself a good hour before you even think about going to technology, checking emails or anything crazy like that. So that's been a huge thing for me. Now, before I go any further, like Christine gave a lot of amazing skills, a lot of things that you can tick off in the morning. And maybe some people are saying, or some of the listeners are saying, well, that's a lot. I can't even fit my normal morning in, let alone do all that stuff. Well, I've got very, very successful mentors that wake up. This is their morning routine. They wake up in the morning, they lay in bed, they get centered for 30 seconds, and then they just decide who they're going to be for the day, who's showing up. And they think of really cool words. They don't just go, I'm going to show up as happy. They think of words like, I'm going to show up presidential. I'm going to be like super spunk or super dad, or, you know, king salesman or whatever. Like they come up with these really positive things. And it's like the way they describe to me is they say, Joel, it's like you're putting on a suit. So you're going to your cupboard, you're just deciding who you're going to be. And you say, yes, I'm going to wear that today, and you're going to put it on. So maybe Christine, when she's looking after a bazillion kids down there, like her showing up with the businesswoman hat on isn't going to be that great. But what if she's you just think of some really super fun name and you embody that for the day? Like that alone is huge, because as I said, 99.9% of the planet are just on autopilot. They're just rolling out of bed, picking their phone up, scrolling Facebook, whatever they do on their phone, and just wrecking their day. Already you're going into stress. So you're living in the past and you're worrying about the future. Just give yourself that time. So Ed Milet, that guy has got his life sorted out. He's a very successful guy. He's got his health right. He's got his mindset right. He's got his business right. He's got his family right. He's even got his dogs right. He's got his private jet right. I can go on. The guy is a successful guy. And he says, you can't control what happens in the day. You cannot control what happens in the day. People are going to come in and wreck your day. They're going to try to wreck your day. They're living their life. You're not going to have everything go right. Business is business. Things go wrong. And you're going to have annoying, it's not always going to be sunshine and pony rides. Okay. So he said, what you can control is what happens in the morning and what happens at night. You can bookend the day. He said, this is the single thing that's made him a success in his life. He doesn't allow people to get into his inner sanctum in the morning, and he knows how he goes to bed. He detoxes from the day. You know, he's got set times for when he gets up and he says a prayer. He drinks water. He does some exercise. He does some personal development. He reads some books, and then fuels his body correctly. Then, no sooner, not before his family's gone for the day, does he even think about going to work. Because once you've opened that floodgate, it's open, isn't it? And then the same thing at night. He sets the temperature right in his room. He does all these things. He bookends the day. He prays. He does, he's got his beliefs and he does those sorts of things. So insert the word meditate or whatever if praying's not your thing. But that's how the successful work, So have fun with it. Have absolute fun with it, and test and taste and try different strategies out. Follow what Tony Robbins says. Go read Ed Milet's book. Listen to this podcast. Do what Christine and I have said today. We've both got different rituals. We don't follow the same ritual. So, test and taste and work out and fit together like a puzzle, a jigsaw puzzle, what works for you. And you can't go wrong. So, listen, one thing that I know like doing the 75 hard, and Christine and I are going to speak about this because we're kicking off with our community, JK community, and you are part of it if you're listening to this. So we're challenging you as well. We're doing the 75 hard. Like I'm already 14 days into it, and I've done it before. If you're a long-term listener, you know that I've done it before, and it is absolutely a game changer for mindset. Absolutely. I know it sounds crazy, although, and I'm not insulting anyone, I think if you want success in your life and you don't do this 75 hard, I think you are handicapped. Like you are not going to beat it. You're not going to beat the people that do it because it is seriously another level. And it's not called 75 like kind of hard. It's hard. I tell you what's happened though for my family. Like my wife saw me do it before. She saw me get the results. In fact, Christine saw me do it and saw the results. Hunter, my son, has seen me get the results. And this time when I said, you know what, I need to up my game, all of them have jumped on and decided that they're setting the date to do it. Like Hunter's been doing it with me. My wife's been doing it with me. Christine's starting and getting the community to do it with us. And you know what? To fit everything in a busy life, you've got to change. You've got to be able to adjust your morning rituals. So when school went back, now my son and I get up at 4:30 in the morning and we hit our walk. I'm not a morning person. I am not a morning person. When I heard Christine say how late her kids sleep, and I was like, yeah, man, I should be better be down there and be one of Christine's kids at 8:15. My man, that's awesome. You got to get up and you got to do it. So like for me, my strategies are all around being productive and getting shit done in the day. So whatever I need to do to make that happen. And I definitely know that getting up in the morning and exercising, drinking at least a liter of water, having some like it depends if you're like how you want to feel. You could have a juice, you could have anything like, but the water is the most important. Like I said, exercise and meditating. I have that in my morning. I'm so all in on meditation. I got so many people that are successful. Everyone from movie stars like Keanu Reeves, Bill Gates, Ray Dalio, I could go on for thousands of them that all believe in meditation. So if you're not doing it and you want to be as successful as them, then I don't know. I don't know how I can't help you. But to just to know that since I've been doing that in the 75 hard, because I wasn't doing it before, it's up my game. So get up, drink 4 liters of water. 4 liters, 1 liter of water. Drink a decent amount of filtered water. Get out, move your body. I don't care if you just walk. Get in and meditate. I don't care if it's for 10 minutes. I can find time to do an hour and 10 minutes in the morning. And then we still get the kids to school. Hunter still gets to school, so get in, have that cold shower, all that sort of stuff. So like, that's been a game changer for me. And like knowing that I've got a business to build, I've got people that I serve, and I've got several businesses to build, and still be a family man, still get everything done, pick up kids from school. Like it's about productivity. So find what makes you the most productive. And I can tell you, going back to it, and I know this has been a long one, Christine, I know you're championing the bit. Seriously, you got to get other people's bullshit out of your life. You literally have to be free of the good opinions of other people. You need to not let Facebook give you that dopamine hit. You got to seriously put I was thinking today, honestly, this is crazy because I'm not a damaging kind of guy, and I value money and I value my stuff. I was thinking, I wonder how much my life would change if I just threw my phone in the lake. I was sitting there going, I could see myself doing this. Because I'm thinking it's just a distraction, and it's just something there to if you let it, it will be a foot on your forehead holding you down. So I'm going to plug someone in a little while, but I'm going to let Christine jump in because I've just been going off my dial.
Well, I think you need to explain to listeners what the 75 hard involves.
All right. Well, the 75 hard is definitely a mindset challenge. Yes, you're going to get fit. Yes, you're going to get smarter. The biggest thing that's going to happen is you just the biggest side effect that you get is you can't handle people's bullshit excuses anymore. And you can't handle people that need to just get in the ambulance. You know, you just like seriously suck it up and get your shit together. Like I've already upset people. I didn't mean to, but like hey, bad luck. And your tolerance of people go down, which is a good thing because like peer group is so important. So if you got into a community of people that were succeeding on the 75 hard, you're in a different fishbowl now. You're in a fishbowl of winners, and the people that can't do it, they're back in the loser territory. So I'm sorry, it's like, so it'll change the game there. But specifically what it is, it's something that Andy Frisella created, and this guy's a machine. He was already a machine. And when he did this, he said, he's looking back now, 12 months on, he goes, I realized that guy that created this needed it more than any of you guys. He goes, I was full of bullshit. I was like, all the level I'm at now would just crush that guy. And I 100% concur with that. So what do you got to do? You got to do 2 45-minute exercise sessions a day. Now, you got to choose your hard. If you are like overweight, then that doesn't mean you need to go do like marathons. Like you use common sense, right? Your hard might be walking up the hill for 45 minutes or walking around the block a couple of times. Christine's hard might be running 10Ks backwards, you know. It's like something crazy like that. I don't know. So mine is stairs, like push it. One of those exercise sessions has to be outside. I just do both outside. Like I don't care if it's raining, as long as it's not lightning, I'm all right. But yeah, like one has to be outside. And guess what? One of those days, like multiple days, it's going to be freezing cold. It's going to be raining. It's going to be windy. It's going to be horrible. And suck it up. That's why it's called the 75 hard. You got to go out and do it anyway. So that's the first part. You got to drink a gallon of water, which is basically 4 liters of water a day for people in Australia. You got to read 10 pages of a personal development or business development book. So no, like 50 Shades of Grey, ladies. You've got to. That's not a business book. I don't know what that book is. I steer clear of it. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, there's that, and then you've got to have no alcohol at all for 75 days, and you've got to follow a meal plan. And I don't think I'm missing anything because I just did that off the top of my head, and I don't know what I said, but you got to follow a meal plan that is designed to better your health. Better your health. So you can't just follow a McDonald's meal plan. You have to follow one that's designed. We use a thing called the Kickstart 10, where it eliminates nasty stuff out of your diet and adds good stuff. Like you just can't wing it. And if you have one M&M, half an M&M, you put it in your mouth, there's one other thing, you know, you put it in your mouth, you spit it out, like bad luck, dudes and dudettes, you're back at day one. You do this for 75 days, and every day you have to take a progress pic of yourself in the mirror. It's not for social media, although I'm sure many will do it. It is certainly not for social media for me. But it's for you to see how far you've come in 75 days. You know, like I did it with a group of guys to like last year, and a couple of girls are in the group too. And just the transformations that happened were just crazy. Like I lost 12 kilos, and that some lost 20, some lost like 10, and that was not the part that we all thought it was. Like our businesses went through the roof. Our energy went through the roof. Our dedication to our mission went through the roof. And, you know, just being inspired in like there's hundreds of thousands of people doing it right now. So just get amongst it. Come do it with us. So I don't think I missed anything, but yeah, it can be scary, but just do it anyway.
I love it. I can't wait to start on Monday with the rest of our JK Connect family. And oh man, I've been getting in a few cheeky meals before, thinking that I got to get them in now because come Monday, can't have any cheap meals. It's funny how your mind works sometimes. I love how you said not to look at the phone, Joel, because that's such a ritual that people get themselves into, you know, having that phone in the bedroom right next to their bed within reach. So the first thing they do is grab it. And the moment that you do that, guys, you're giving your power away. You are starting to be externally influenced. with your time and your focus. And this is the thing, if you don't have a clear intention for the day and direct your focus to what's important and to where you're going, the world is going to try and steal it, and it will steal it if you allow it. So doing these morning rituals is key for working on you and your goals. And you know, they don't have to be big, they don't have to be mega, but you need to be crystal clear on where you're actually going and what your intention is. So I want to share with our listeners, Joel, the 5 scientific truths behind excellent habits. And this is why habits are so important. I mean, there's so many books out there on habits, and you're probably getting sick of hearing about habits, you know. Honestly, guys, though, if you don't have empowering habits, then you've probably got more disempowering habits. And the more disempowering habits you have, the further away you're going to be from where it is or whoever it is you want to be. So that's why we really are drilling into you guys that having a morning ritual or setting yourself up for the day to win or having these empowering habits, there is science behind it. And this science is going to lead you to your success. You're going to be at a different playing field than the sheeple that are getting around on the planet. You're going to be at a different conscious level. You're going to vibrate at a different frequency. And when you do that, the universe is going to come and meet you. And it's going to give you, it's waiting to give you everything that you want. So we need you to be in that peak resourceful state. We want you to have a really sharp mindset, you know, a healthy body, a healthy mind, a healthy spirit. And that's the way to success. So these 5 scientific truths behind excellent habits. Truth 1 is that world-class willpower isn't an inborn strength. Okay, it's a skill that can be developed through relentless practice. So getting up at dawn is a perfect self-control training. You know, getting up at 5 a.m. or what Joel's doing at 4:30, that's discipline, guys. And what Joel and I see is broken promises. People are breaking these promises to themselves all the time. That's why the 75 hard is so hard, because people tend to revert back to behaviors that are instilled in them, and it's of breaking those promises to themselves. But when you change your mindset and you are disciplined and you make the decision and the commitment to do the 75 hard and stick with it, or whatever the goal is, watch the magic happen. You know, and watch how people start treating you differently when you start holding your own promises to yourself. When the 75 hard starts as well, my morning routine is going to change. It's going to have to, because now I've got to squeeze in a 45-minute workout and, you know, and then one at the end of the day as well. So, or later in the day. So having a morning routine that's flexible to be able to do this as well is so key. Truth number 2 is personal discipline is a muscle. It really is, guys. And the more you stretch it, the stronger it grows. So the samurais of self-regulation actively create conditions of hardship to build their natural power. And this is coming straight from the 5 a.m. Club. This is straight from Robin Sharma's stuff. And I really love how he talks about personal discipline being a muscle. The more discipline you have, the stronger you become. And that leads me on to, you know, to willpower. So truth number 3 is, like other muscles, willpower weakens when it's tired. Recovery is therefore absolutely necessary for the expression of mastery and to manage decision fatigue. And you guys will know this. When you're tired, when you're not eating well, when you're not taking care of yourself, when you're not doing your meditations, when you're not focused on evolving that self-evolution journey, you do feel fatigued. You feel like you're giving all your energy to everybody else and there's nothing left for yourself. You're the ones that are falling asleep at 7:30 at night on the couch in front of Netflix. You're exhausted. You're burnt out. Yeah. So we want to make sure that we are, you know, strengthening that muscle, that willpower. You know, start sticking to these things that you say you're going to do. You know, there's nothing better than a person that stays true to their word. You know, I just absolutely love, and you know those people. You'll have some of them in your life. They're the people that do what they say they're going to do. They say they're going to help you move house, they're there with their ute and they're helping you move that house, you know. So be like that. Work on that willpower. Truth number 4 is installing any great habit successfully follows a distinct 4-part pattern for automation of the routine. So you need to follow it explicitly for lasting results. Now, you hear all the research around, you got to stick to something for 21 days. You got to stick to something for 30 days. You do. Repetition is key. You have to stick at it. And from that, you're going to create these amazing, successful habits from it. And then the fifth truth is increasing self-control in one area of your life elevates self-control in all areas of your life. This is why joining something like the 5 a.m. club, the 75 hard, it's game-changing habits that will lift everything else you do in life. How flippin' cool is that? How cool is that? That, you do something in your personal life and it elevates everything in your professional life. You heard Joel talk about the 75 hard and how his business grew. And the 75 hard had nothing to do with business, but it's that flow on effect. You become this unstoppable machine, this elevated person. You start operating at a higher level. And then from that, you probably start hanging around different people. As Joel said, the people that are in the 75 hard are winners. They're people that are ready to bloody do the inhuman, like go the extra mile to do the things that are going to make them a greater human being. And that's what you need to do sometimes. You need to say yes to these challenges, because that's how we get to really fully live in our mastery. Whatever your mastery is, whatever your purpose is, this is the best way to do that, is to start doing these challenges that are going to help you create these empowering habits. And I think we've spoken so much about this, Joel, but every day, the moment you wake up, you honestly get to decide who you're going to be. And it may not happen overnight, because this self-evolution is a process. It's a practice. It's a consistent and persistent process of self-discovery, like creating these empowering habits. And if you can come up with a morning routine and you evolve it and you tweak it over time until it fits and it's flexible enough that you can adjust it when it needs to be, because let's face it, there's unpredictable things that rock up in our everyday life. Kids are unpredictable. Our jobs are unpredictable. Our businesses are unpredictable. Our families are unpredictable, So if you can come up with habits that are set in stone, but not so set in stone that they can't, be done later in the day if you miss it or something pops up, then you are going to win, guys. And that's what we want for our listeners. You are part of our JK Connect family. And through these podcasts, we really want you to get that we're here to serve you. Actually, today's topic, Joel, came from one of our listeners. She wanted us to do this topic today, and we were like, amazing, we love it. So big shout out to Alison for giving us today's topic. I don't know if that's the person you wanted to plug, was it, Joel? But thank you. We love listening and delivering what our listeners want. So if you do have ideas for topics, let us know. Joel, you wanted to plug someone. Who was that?
Yeah, I do. And I'll tell you, I want to start by saying, Roger Federer and the top tennis players, the top basketballers, they did not get to the top of the leagues by just being willy-nilly. They have a structured roadmap for success. Like Roger Federer wasn't automatically just lucky and become the best tennis player of the modern era, or, Nadal and all those guys. And think any sports guy, they didn't just automatically become the top of the game. They had to work hard and they had to have a plan, and they had strategies for how to get there. And you can guarantee they had not just morning rituals, they had daily rituals that went throughout the entire day. It's not just a walk in the park. And I put a quote up recently to the audience that didn't, I think a few people were a bit frightened to even do the usual and love on it. But I wrote up difficulty is how the universe weeds out the underserving. And that shocked a few people, I think. But it's true. It's true. I believe everyone is deserving of having everything that they want. The universe isn't going to give it to you for free. It's not just going to hand it to you because you've sat on a rock and, prayed to the moon goddess or something like that. It's just not going to happen. So you gotta plan. And look, you're not going to get there on day one. That's why I brought up the tennis players. You're going to get beaten in the first round. for a long time until you get good enough to get to the second round. And then you're going to have your rituals to get you to the third round. And then eventually, if you work your ass off, you're going to get to the Grand Slam final and maybe you win on the day. Maybe you're good enough on the day. But you're never going to know, like, if you're good enough, if you don't put these rituals into practice and start going for productivity, start going for it and really giving it your all, show up and give it your best that you can. Like, and sometimes your best isn't going to be enough. That doesn't mean shit. You just still need to go give it. You need to go give your best. And like, that's why I think society is the way it is in a lot of cases, because people just want it handed to them. Like, they want the government to sort it out for them. And they want things to happen and just be given to them, like the credit card. I go on about the credit cards. I think it's ruined a lot of things. It's just made shit too easy. Like, choose hard. Like, this is why Andy Frisella says if you have two choices between a workout, you got to pick the hardest one. Because if you've got an option on anything, you have to pick the hardest version of it. So, crazy story. The guy I wanted to shout out because I'm stealing his morning ritual. His name's Nathan Longhurst. You hear me speak about him a bit on this thing. Like, he's been using morning rituals for as long as he could remember, and he's got great success from them. And he's honed them into one process that he uses now. So he's followed the best in the world and found all these different journals that you can use to better yourself. And what he does in the morning, it's so simple. Anyone can do it. It'll take you 5 bloody minutes. He says, every day you write your goals down and you just go for gold. Write them down, your top 5 goals, 6 goals, whatever they are, what you want out of your life. They can be legacy goals. They could be a fitness goal. They could be anything like that. You just got to write your goals and so you know where you're going. He said, then what you do is you write down 5 action steps that you're going to do, 5 critical tasks that you're going to do today that are going to get you towards your goals. Now, he's doing this in the morning, and he, like, either way, he's getting it done. Like, he's doing this in the morning. So, like, then he takes those tasks that he's going to do and he puts them into his schedule, which is on the, like, he has it on you can do this on a piece of paper. You can do it in a book, or you can buy his journal that he sells. I don't know, like, plug for his journal. He does it. It's good to great. Go to Nathan Longhurst. I don't know, like, if he's still selling them. I've got a few. They're awesome. Hunter's got some. That's why my son's getting up at 4:30 in the morning, I guess. But anyway, I digress. And your action steps can't be go out and make $1 billion, because that's just BS. It's got to be, if you want to lose weight, it's got to be go out and do 2 45-minute runs for the day, or go have 5 sales meetings, or go meet Christine and do the podcast and then talk about marketing. It's got to be something like that. So it's got to be an actionable step that you can actually do. And then at the end of the day, you write your same goals down again at the end of the day, so they're in here. Now, his reasoning for this is, think about it. If Christine is doing that and she's focusing on her goals, so she's writing her goals down effectively like 700 times in a year if she does that. And she's doing 5 steps towards attaining those goals each year. And I'm sitting here and I'm just winging it. She's going to kick my ass. So think about it. There's people out there working 24 hours a day to steal your lunch money. I'm telling you, they're out there trying to, like, be the best in the field that you want to be the best in. So if you're not actioning this stuff and you're not minding your business and putting the effort in and doing things like the 75 hard, while people like Christine and I and like Nathan and like the JK Connect universe is doing the 75 hard, they're just going to go past you. It's just, they're going to be in a Ferrari. You're going to be in a tractor, a lawnmower. So really take, I hope this is scaring you. So something that I wanted to mention about that's not really the plug. The plug is about Nathan though. He saw me on social media doing stairs, which nearly killed me the first time and nearly killed me the second time, although I was far better off on the second one, trust me. But when he didn't wait for the second time. The first time he said, "Hey man, good on you. When are we going to do the stairs together?" And I was like, "Oh mate, just let me know." And he goes, yeah, well, tell me a date and I'll be there. And then that was a message. I didn't tell him because it was a spur of the moment thing. I went and did it. That day, he rang me and goes, dude, when are we doing the stairs together? You name the time and the place. I've got my calendar open now. I'll block it out. I'm coming. This is a guy that is seeing me doing something completely insane, even for me. And he's just gone, wow, that guy's out there busting and taking it to another level. I'm going too. So find people. And like Christine is another perfect example. She's like, he's doing it again. This time I'm jumping on board. I'm doing it too. And let's bring the family too. Let's do it and bring as many people as we can to do it too. So like that's the killer instinct you guys need. And like once, as Christine said, when she's speaking about the sciences or the science behind this, it might not happen day one. You might start the 75 hard and get to day 40 and stuff it up and have to go back to day one. Well, guess what? That's you learning something. That's you learning that you let your guard down for a second and you got basically punched in the face. And now you're going to learn a really, really hard lesson because guess what? You're starting again. So that's why I think I'm successful. Is one of the reasons is because I'm willing to do crazy stuff like that. And I hang out with crazy people like Christine and Nathan and other maniacs like that. And, you know, they inspire you. Like, I'm not going to lie. One of the reasons I'm doing the 75 hard is because I was watching Christine doing all the runs that she's doing and like watching all these other amazing people that are in my friends' circle of friends kicking ass at the gym and doing all these awesome things. I'm like, man, I'm not going to be worthy to be in this crowd for long if I don't step it up. They're not going to like A players don't like playing with B players. You get kicked into the minor leagues and then you're wondering why you're feeling crap. So I know, Christine, that's it for me. I think I've said my piece.
Mate, I'm dropping my microphone. Look at this. Microphone drop. You've bloody nailed it, mate. The only thing I was working out while you were talking in regards to Nathan's getting started daily routine is if you implement those 5 actions a day, it's 1,300 actions a year if you do Monday to Friday over the course of a year. 1,300 actions towards your goals, guys. Like, that's insane. I love looking at those numbers, and that's why Nathan's successful. So, you know, it's amazing. But I've got nothing else to say, mate. I think we've given so much value, and yeah, you've said it all in that last bit. Anyway, I don't want to say anything else.
Well, just share the podcast because that was awesome. And wherever you are, have a most outstanding day.
Damn.